So, good morning, my friends. Welcome to Warrior Wednesday. We've been getting together now for almost 4 months on this Zoom screen since the quarantine started. And I'm just hearing from a lot of you that it's nice to have this option and then posted later to YouTube so you can continue your practice from the sweetness of your home. In today's practice, we're going to be doing a lot of backward bending poses, spine extension to just counter all of the forward sitting and texting and typing we've been all doing. So you've got that to look forward to. If you have something nearby that's like a strap, a yoga strap or a long tie or a belt, have that handy. We'll use that today. And if not, you can do the poses without it, but this will be helpful. All right. So let's start in a comfortable seat. Get your hips settled on the earth or a cushion or even a chair. And when you arrive there, friends, just close your eyes. Start to listen to the sound of your breath. Start to notice what is happening here inside. Inside the busyness of this world. Inside whatever it is that's happening right now in your body, can you just come inside of that a layer, just one layer under the skin, and see what's here? Is there any tension? Is there some tiredness? Is there ease? What's here just under the surface? And when you have acknowledged, noticed what's here, then just start to breathe more deeply. And let this breath start to permeate the layers of your being. Let's just start with the skin. Let this breath fill the inner borders of your skin. And you might start to notice your belly expanding or your lower back feeling that breath as your skin just stretches a little. You might notice your rib cage broadening, widening side to side. You might notice a little movement in your shoulders, maybe a lift and a lower with that breath. For thousands of years, yogis have been doing exactly what we are embarking on right now. Coming to stillness, using breath as a way to be here, and using this practice as a time of awareness. And we just begin the simplest act of awareness of our own body. Awareness of whatever shows up, just noticing and being aware. Start to stretch your neck by dropping one ear to one shoulder, roll across the front and to the other side, and do that a few times. Just noticing what a slight movement of one body part can do to change an experience. With your head coming back to neutral, take that same kind of idea into your shoulders and start to just creatively move your shoulders up and around, and might even be interesting to alternate one shoulder at a time, forward and back. What do you notice with a little shoulder movement? Is anything there to pay attention to? fingertips float to your shoulders and just start to make circles around with your elbows down close to your body, towards each other in the front, and then open. Take your time peeling this open like a precious gift that someone gave you, and you don't want to tear the wrapping paper. You just want to open this so tenderly and eagerly. Go in both directions, forward and back. And then let your arms reach all the way up overhead, stretch tall. One arm longer and then the other like you're climbing a rope. Lengthening the spine that might have been bent over for a while. And then reach your hands as high as you can and just slowly peel your arms open. Let them come backwards a bit to feel that stretch across the chest is where we're headed next. And then find that strap, that belt, or even just a rope or a band, anything that's kind of long. And take that strap in your hands as wide as you can. And we're going to take it up over our head and roll it down behind us. So we'll start with the hands really wide, giving us a lot of space and room. No strain, no pain. There might even be a little bit of slack in that band. And then as you continue, just inch your thumbs closer together, half an inch at a time, and just continue to see where the edge is for you, where you've got that perfect blend of stretch and ease. Motion is lotion. Loosen up around the shoulders. And we're going to take this next one back. Your hands as close together as they can be, and then hover right behind your shoulders. And we'll just raise that band up and down a few inches. Always making sure to avoid any pain, any sharp stabbing pain, but just maybe some discomfort here. Unfamiliar position. Hold in the place where it feels the most sensation. Take a deep breath into your chest. And let a sigh go. Arms reach high. Let your left hand come to the floor. Your fingers might slide up a little bit. We're going to hold on to this band as a way to pull up. So even though we're bending over, push up on the band and lengthen through your side. Your breath comes into the right rib cage, the right lung. We'll switch, come back to center. Nice. We're just going to take that back to center. Let's release. Set this band off to the side. We'll come back for it later. Bring yourself around into a tabletop position. And then draw your knees wide, big toes close together. Let's come down into child's pose. You can rest your forehead on a block, on the backs of your hands or your mat. And now move breath into your upper back. Breathe between your shoulder blades. Breathe into your armpits. Your side body's longer. Let out a long exhale. And then lifting to tabletop again, let's tuck our toes and come up into downward facing dog. This first down dog, always, we'll just pedal our heels, stretch our calves, hamstrings, Achilles tendons, feet. Explore wider stance or narrower stance. Just kind of take something slightly different than your always down dog. Let's nod the head yes and shake the head no and just loosen any tension there. And we'll take our slow walk to the top of the mat, just easy, one leg, 1 foot at a time. Finding a forward fold, maybe with bent knees. You can just hang here, resting on your thighs, or maybe touch your elbows, ragdoll. See if it feels good to sway, or if it feels better to just dangle. Placing hands on the shins, let's lift halfway. The knees stay soft. Press your shins into your hands. Press your hands into your shins. Take a deeper breath in and exhale, forward fold. Let's do that 2 more times, friends. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale to fold. 1 more time, press to lengthen. And exhale. Put a bend in your knees and scoop your arms high, extended mountain. Come into a little bit of a back bend here. So back bending, we want our feet pressing into the earth. You want to feel your hip bones forward slightly, your tailbone tucked. Arms just reaching back to a point where it feels like length more than pinching in your back. So you're lifting up and out of your back. Depending on your spine and the way your body feels, you might be going back farther. Or maybe this is perfect right here. Breathe into the front. Return to neutral and exhale to chair. Let your arms reach behind you. Squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you. And let's come again into that standing back bend. Inhale as deeply as you can. And then exhale, chair. Sweep your arms behind you. Press your shoulder blades back. 1 more time, scoop up. Inhale. Exhale, chair. Let's reach up 1 more time and we'll begin a couple of sun salutations. Exhale through that chair to forward folds. Press hands to shins, lift halfway. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose, knees or toes. Spin the elbows and lower halfway, chaturanga. We'll melt the body to the earth. Come up into cobra, or if you prefer, press tops of your feet upward facing dog. And exhale, down dog. Once again, just exploring maybe some new footprints on your mat, something slightly different in this familiar pose. When you're ready, step or hop to the top of your mat, half lift. Big exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, inhale, arms reach, find that little back bend. And hands come to heart center. Let's go again, sun A, friends. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, forward fold. Beautiful. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Noticing strength building. Inhale to plank pose on your knees or your toes. Beautiful. Exhale, halfway down, chaturanga. And then open up cobra or upward facing dog. So beautiful. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pause here. Find some new footprints. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let your chest sink down just a little bit more here in downward facing dog. And then looking forward, step or hop to the top of your mat, half lift. Forward fold. Exhale. Find that strap again while you're here close to the floor, and then with a bend in the knees, inhale to mountain pose. Let's take that strap wide again, and we'll go up and over and just see if anything has changed in that range of motion. Maybe hands a little closer together. As you're doing this, work your feet out wider. Come into a nice wide stance. And we'll bring those arms behind us. Walk the hands closer together. So mine are just a little bit wider than shoulder or hip distance apart. And from here, we'll fold forward. Come down into this wide-legged forward fold with arms reaching a little higher with gravity pulling. Exhale long. Put the slightest bend in one knee and then the other. Just find a little more ease here in this posture. Gravity doing what gravity does. Lifting halfway, let's let the band come down. We can bring our hands to hips if that's helpful. Come back to standing. Nice. Release that band, shoulders and chest getting warm. Return to the top of your mat and inhale. Find again that standing back bend. What's happening here? Swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, downward facing dog. If you'd like to take a vinyasa, you can. That plank pose, lowering down, or you can stay here in down dog for a couple more breaths. Always an option. On the inhale, let's raise the right leg high and step between our thumbs. We're going to stay on those back toes, low lunge, and use that front leg to help us come up to a standing lunge. We'll bring our arms behind us. So let's interlace the fingers, and if that doesn't feel great, grab that strap again, like we just did, and open up through your chest. So as we're here, let's try to deepen the lunge. Let's reach our knuckles to the earth and lift the sternum to the sky, taking in deeper breaths. Beautiful. Squeezing shoulders onto the back. As we release our fingers, rise up into high lunge. And then peeling the arms open, twist. The left arm reaches forward, the right arm reaches back. One hand reaching to the future. One hand reaching into the past. And here we are between. Right here. Reach the arms high and set the hands on the floor. Let's drop our back knee and we're going to come into a pose called lizard. Hands coming to the inside of the right foot, and you can stay just like that. That's a great place to stay, just opening the hip. If you'd like to explore a bit, you can drop your knee open, maybe lifting and lowering. And you're also welcome to come down to one or both of your elbows here. So take a moment to explore around your hip and see what you find there. Aware of your breath, present to this experience right here, right now, not in the future and not in the past. Let's bring that knee back up. We'll take the foot right between the hands, tucking our back toes. Step the back foot to meet the front foot. Wiggle out your knees a little bit. And inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Let your hands again return to the mat. Step to downward facing dog with the invitation to stay here or flow through Vinyasa. And when you're ready, the left leg lifts high. Sliding that foot forward, coming into low lunge. We'll keep those toes tucked. Start to press yourself up to standing. Arms come behind. Grab the strap or interlace, and let's just find this. So if you were one of those old yogis spending your life in a cave, seeking enlightenment, liberation, you would use this as the vehicle, this posture, this breath, this thought, this room that you find yourself in. This is the doorway to liberation and enlightenment, learning to be here. Let's release the hands and slowly rise, high lunge. And then let the arms peel, coming into your vertical twist. And just like our mind always wants us to be in the future, in the past, you practice being here. This sensation, this temperature, this falling out of a pose, this. Let your hands come high and then lower to the floor inside your left foot. Back knee drops. And we'll spend some time here just exploring the left hip. Using now as our doorway to liberation, freedom, enlightenment. You can choose hands or elbows, a block, movement or stillness. What invites you here? How interesting can this very next breath be? You've never been here before. Never be here again. Coming back to the center, we'll draw the knee up. And tucking the back toes. Stepping the back foot to meet the front foot. Wiggle out your legs a bit. And inhale the arms high. Find that standing back bend once again. If this doesn't feel good to your body, you can place your hands on your hips and give yourself support there. It's see about the spine lengthening, the neck relaxing a bit more. From here, bending the knees, and again, down into chair pose, arms behind. Let's do that a couple more times, just keeping heat in the body. Back bend to chair. Really reach those arms back, feeling the strength in the back of your shoulders. This time we'll hold the arms behind us, interlace the fingers, or again, grab that strap and slowly pour your head down, lift your knuckles high. We'll release our hands to the floor, stepping back into downward facing dog, again with a choice to stay here or to lift through plank and lower down, chaturanga. Rise up, that helps us build heat and upper body strength. Let's lift the right leg high and we'll step that foot between our thumbs. I'm going to introduce a new back bend here before we move into our warriors. So let's drop our back knee. And I'd like you to pay really close attention to your lower back here. Just listen to what is there as you either just stay here or press up with your knee. And just that first stop, see what happens in your low back, if anything. So you could stay here, or bring your hands to your rib cage and imagine that you are lifting a plant, the stem of a plant out of a pot. I want you to just pull up, just pull the ribs up and keep the hips down. See if that gives you any sense of relief in your low back. And now just gently pressing the back bottom ribs and lifting the heart. So the hands are kind of doing this type of action, like you're pouring a bowl of water backwards. Hips stay forward, rib cage lifting and tilting. You might be noticing something deep inside of that left hip, called your psoas, hip flexor. So we're going to keep that sensation as we return to neutral. Use your front leg to help you come up onto your back toes and drop that heel. We've got a warrior stance, and I'd like you to just notice if you still feel something in that left hip flexor. Our arms come high. Interlace the fingers, palms to the sky, and see if you can create that same idea that we had when we were kneeling. Tailbone tucking under, spine lifting up out of the bowl of the pelvis, and a slight tilt of the rib cage up and back. Version of Warrior One. Can you still breathe deeply in this back bending posture? Release your hands, peel your body out and open into Warrior Two. You'll feel that shift more to an inner thigh. Turn the palm to reverse the warrior. And exhale to side angle. Let's pause here, elbow to thigh. Fingers lifted or reaching over your head, your choice. Can you still feel that inner deep muscle called hip flexors on the left side? Notice that the hip flexor on the right side is pinched, folded, and tight. It's going to get its turn next. As we inhale to reverse warrior, straighten your right leg, lift your spine tall, lift up and over. Good, and then windmill your hands to the earth, downward facing dog. Option to stay here or flow through your vinyasa, your choice. In down dog, can you tell the difference between your left hip and your right hip, especially in front? So let's raise our left leg high, and we'll step that foot through, dropping the knee to the mat. So the right side's turn. So if you're feeling any pain in your back or your hips, stay right here and just gently open that muscle. If you'd like to continue on, press your hands to your knee and just check in what's going on now in the low back. What do you see here? If you're still getting a green light, the hands come to the rib cage and lift that plant, that spine up out of the base of the pelvis. If it's still getting a green light, we're pressing our back bottom ribs forward, just tilting. Like you're holding a bowl of water in front of you and you're just spilling that water towards you. Breathe. Sense. Feel. This is liberation being here right now. Freedom. Release the hands to the mat, tucking the back toes. Take that sensation with you as you drop your heel and rise up, warrior one. Take a moment. This is a kind of an awkward pose for the spine. In warrior one, interlacing the hands, pressing the palms to the ceiling. Shoulders stay relaxed. And see if you can continue to feel that length coming up across the right hip flexor. You might even just slightly lift your right shoulder just a little, give it a little more space. And peeling open into our warrior two. Take a deeper bend in the knees, the left arm turns, left palm turns for reverse warrior. Yeah. Good. On the exhale, side angle. Rest on the thigh, arm high or overhead. Nice. We're here long enough. If you'd like to take a bind, you can. Keep all of this length in your body. Now there's that pinch in the left hip and length across the right hip. Breathe there. Really nice, you guys. Inhale to reverse warrior. The front leg straightens. Spill new oxygen into that hip. Fresh blood supply. Good, and as we return those hands to the mat, step to downward facing dog. Your choice to stay or flow through vinyasa. Always an option, always a choice. Before we get to our next posture, I need to make sure we've got lots of heat in the body. So we're going to do one more little round inside of sun bee just to make sure there's some heat. Ready? So inhale, right leg high. Exhale, step through. Drop the back heel, rise up, warrior one. Sip in lots of breath. Exhale, hands to mat. Down dog, either stay here or take a vinyasa. Your shoulders and wrists get to choose. We'll raise our left leg high, stepping through, warrior one. Nice deep breath in. And exhale, hands to mat. down dog, or Vinyasa. And then just let yourself exhale, noticing heat. Let's lower our knees to the mat. We're moving into camel. So in camel, if you'd like to roll your mat under your knees a bit to give you some extra padding, you can just make an easy little quick fold like that. And then we're standing on our knees. We're tucking our back toes, and this is a slightly different version of camel today. So bring your hands to your glutes and press your hips forward. Let's just start right there. Those hip flexors are ready from what we just did. Tailbone down. Lift your rib cage up again. That spine lifting up and out of the pelvis. And then just wrap your shoulders onto your back. Push your chest forward. Be here for a moment to notice if you're getting a green light. If your body is saying yes to this posture and this possibility. If all systems go, you're going to reach just one hand back toward a heel and the opposite arm to the sky. So your arms can reach in two directions. Testing the water to see what kind of back bend your spine is inviting you into. We'll return to neutral to switch hands. So make sure to keep your body squared forward. Try not to rotate as you reach. Breathe. So much space inside of you. Right here, right now. Enlightenment. Liberation right here. Return to the center, hands on the glutes. Flatten out your feet if you can, if that feels okay. And now both arms overhead. We'll interlace the fingers and bring the hands behind the head. Lift your chest and trust the process of just pressing head into hands. And just see if there's a little bit of a back bend here, if neutral seems like a better idea. Breathe. Heart open, back strong. Release. Fingertips come up high, and then just slowly invite yourself into a seat. So if this feels okay to your knees, you can just take hero. If you'd rather sit on your booty, go ahead and bring your legs around. But find a moment of stillness here. Eyes closed. Just noticing what is here just below the surface now. You feel your heart beating in your chest. Has there been any shift from this movement, from this breathing? Let's all meet in a seated position and keep that strap with you. We'll do a couple of hamstring stretches using this band. So we'll clear the flesh. Let's bend the right knee out to one side and keep our left leg out in front of us. And then using the strap underneath the ball of your foot. I like to use this even if you can reach your feet because it encourages length in your spine. And it allows us to be more on the front of our sitting bones. So kind of walk your hips around, see if you can feel that sensation of being on the front of your pelvis. Chest pulls toward the top of the feet. So for a lot of us, this is just a fabulous posture right here, feeling hamstrings, calves. If you prefer to be folded down, you can allow yourself to lower, drawing the stretch up farther into your back. Just don't lose what you started with in your hamstring, in your calf. Deep inhale and full, slow exhale. Rising up, let's set the strap aside. We'll take the knee out a little bit. We're going to come up onto that knee, and the left arm lifts up and over the head again. So just make your body long. Reach to the wall behind you, maybe even drop your head back. Just let there be more space here, more expansion. And return to the earth, switching legs. Right leg extended, left knee bent. Moving what's underneath you so you can feel the front of your hips. Using the band to help us begin with a really straight spine, coming forward from the hips. Just having the strength of your upper body really helps with length in this posture. And either stay here or round forward. Two great options. How much can you fill up with breath into the back of your rib cage? And how much breath can you empty out? What can you take in? And what can you give out? Returning to neutral spine. Let the knee open a bit and come up into this kind of a wild thing type of posture. Looking back. Breathe here. And releasing to the earth. Let's draw the knees together and find our way down onto our back. And once we get here, we'll hug knees into chest. Give ourselves a nice massage on the earth. And then preparing for bridge pose, and we'll do 3 rounds of bridge pose today. We'll invite you into low, medium, and high. And so just starting with easy bridge here, just lifting hips, wrapping shoulders underneath. To make it even easier, you could place your block under your hips and settle here. We'll just take 5 slow breaths and close your eyes. Be where you are. Completed 5 slow breaths. Return your hips to the earth and just let yourself be in neutral spine for reset. You can wiggle a little, but just notice neutral. Round 2, bend your elbows, make a 90-degree bend in your elbows, and we'll press our triceps down into the floor and let our triceps help us come up a little higher. This time you might want to just wiggle your shoulders under you, maybe your arms. come into more of a chest expansion bridge. The idea is eventually we want to feel like we're on the tops of our shoulders more than the backs of our shoulders. So it feels like the rib cage is a little more vertical. Feet are firm on the earth, back is strong. One more deep breath in and release again to neutral spine. Resting here, noticing here. We'll come up one more time into bridge pose. And the highest bridge would invite us to bring our hands underneath our hips, so our hips become the height of our forearms. If you prefer, you can come up into wheel pose with your hands by your ears and just lift your body up all the way into that big back bend. If you're staying here with your hands underneath you, you might try one leg up in the air. Wiggle your toes, circle your ankle. Snap, crackle, pop. And if you've done that, switch. And we'll return feet to the floor, the back to the floor, the hips, the arms. So now let's draw the knees into the chest and just gently again observe lower back. Move the knees out and in. If you like happy baby, you can take that here. If you enjoy a gentle inversion, you can extend your legs. Just take a moment here on the way to Shavasana, our final posture. And when you feel ready, begin to use any props or coverings that your body enjoys using, and start to find your way into Shavasana. Just trusting that those old yogis knew what they were talking about. That if we could come into stillness, if we could teach our body to be perfectly still, if we could quiet our minds by paying attention to our breath, we might be able to tap into this deep well of wisdom. We might be able to visit that place where our truth lives. If you find your mind is wanting to be busy again, go back to the breath, go back to the breath, go back to the breath. The inhale, even and equal to the exhale. The rising and falling of your belly. And if you pay extra close attention, you might even feel your own pulse. Just notice one more slow, steady breath moving through your nose, your throat, and your lungs and exchange oxygen for CO2. And then just begin some tender movement with your fingers, your toes, your wrists, and your ankles. Start to stretch your body out, and I even invite you to yawn or sigh or moan or purr. Make a sound. And then let's meet back in a seated position. And we'll draw hands in front of our heart, this gesture of gratitude. So I, like many of you, have been listening and learning and watching. And 2 nights ago, my homework was to watch I Am Not Your Negro. And I want to share some words with you as we leave from James Baldwin. He said, "This is the charged, the dangerous moment when everything must be re-examined, must be made new, when nothing at all can be taken for granted." Nothing at all can be taken for granted, starting, yogis, with this breath, this very precious breath. This gathering, this precious and sacred gathering on a screen in front of us, this cannot be taken for granted. May we go through this day washing dishes with gratitude, taking care of pets or each other with gratitude, cleaning the house that we're so blessed to have with gratitude. Nothing at all can be taken for granted, especially each of you. Have a beautiful Wednesday, friends. Namaste.